Hi everybody, I'm Jona from One Pip Wonder, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my gaming diary from October. Now, I hope this doesn't come across as bragging. I know how hard it is when you really want to just get together with friends and play games and you can't. So I feel your pain if you haven't had a chance to play games with people. I know exactly what you're going through, but this past October I actually had a lot of really fun opportunities. I just thought you might want to hear what games I've gotten to play and get to the table. Dear Diary. No, I'm just kidding. So the first game night that I got to go to was the beginning of the month. That was at my friend Joe's game shop, Gaming from the Ashes. That's not right. From the Ashes Gaming, and I got to meet some fans actually, which was mind-blowing. Some people that have been following my channel for a while actually are local, and they went to Joe's game shop because of my recommendation, and I finally got to meet them, so that was really cool. And they taught me how to play The Crew. So that is a trick-taking game, a co-op trick-taking game, and I have to say I only played it once, and I was really anxious to play another game, so we didn't play it a whole lot more than that. I think before I would say whether I truly liked it or didn't like it, I should probably play it a few more times. But I'm a pinochle player, so that's like my trick-taking game, and The Crew didn't really seem anything like that, so it was kind of a weird experience. But I will say that this, I will play it again. I will play it one more time. I played Mariposas with them, and you will see in my Mariposas review that Dave and Britany actually helped me review Mariposas. They had played it once before, we played it together, and I got their feedback on it. So that was a really fun coincidence that I was able to do that with them. And then later that night we played Murder in Hong Kong, where everyone gets assigned a role to play for the game. Someone's going to be the murderer, and the other people are pretty much just bystanders. And you will try to figure out who's the murderer and who is not, and you can accuse people. There are clues in front of you that you can kind of like say, oh, well, this makes sense for this person, and then there's also a narrator who's kind of trying to give you clues. I guess that was another game where I kind of had different expectations going into it, and they fell a little short. But I'm glad I got a chance to play it, and it was kind of fun for October. And then the next time I got to play with people is actually the next night was our big game group, and it actually turned out to just be 4 of us who got together. I did a little vlog about that. We got to play Tenzi's and Point Salad. We were just playing like short games, basically to pass the time, hoping that more people would be coming later. And it turned out it was just the 4 of us the whole night, which was fine. Tenzi's is just a dice rolling game where you're trying to get 12 dice of the same number the fastest. So it's just like a speed game, and it's really silly and kind of fun and chaotic. And the Point Salad is the little card game where you're just collecting little vegetables, and you're collecting different sets of vegetables, and you're also drafting point cards that are going to score you different points depending on the vegetables that you collected. It's a super simple filler game, but I love it. I love playing it out and teaching it to people because it is just simple and it's just fun to try and collect as many points as you can. So that's Point Salad. And then we played Medici later that evening. And Medici is like a betting game, so it's totally up my alley. I like that sort of game where you're there's kind of like an auction happening per round where people go around and bid on the cargo that they can put in their boat. And basically you're like flipping over cards, and as the cards are flipped, you're gonna have different cards revealed showing different cargo and different like values of that cargo. The different cargo goes up to 5 or something like that. So you want to try and get highest points, but you're also trying to get more of the same cargo, and you have to bid, and you only get to bid once. You don't get to come back and like raise your bid, so you have to make it a good one. So I like those sorts of games where you kind of have to weigh the odds, figure out what other people are gonna do, and kind of just go for it. So it's definitely one of those type of games. The last game that we played at our game group was Blackout in Hong Kong. Blackout Hong Kong. What is that? Yeah, Blackout Hong Kong. And that is like a kind of like a hand management sort of game. You were also collecting resources. You were trying to restore power to the city of Hong Kong. It was a little frustrating to learn because everything was in German, but we did eventually get it. It was very intuitive and it played very nicely. And I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I would definitely play it again. If you'd like to see more about that game night, you can check that up in the link above. Okay, then I got to play Project L with some friends that came over for a sleepover in the middle of the month, and Project L is one of my favorite games from this year. It actually came out last year, but it was new to me this year, and it's a tiling game like with these little Tetris pieces, and you're completing these really simple puzzles. And when you complete them, you get a new puzzle piece to use in your collection. And you also get points depending on what puzzles you're finishing. Some of them will have victory points, which you add up at the end of the game to see who will win. So it's kind of an engine builder, abstract puzzle game. So I really love Project L. I love teaching it to new people. We also got to play Spirit Island with this couple. And the wife was kind of new to it. I think she had played it once. So we were kind of reteaching it to her, reviewing it, and then the husband had played it a whole lot, so he was pretty good with all the rules. But Daniel and I were playing new spirits from the expansion. So we had a little bit of a learning curve figuring out our new spirits. Just because I know people will be curious, I played the Stone's Unyielding Defense. And this spirit, I don't remember a whole lot of details how it worked. I just remembered being kind of frustrated with it. It didn't come with a whole lot of energy, and I felt like I wasn't using all the powers to the full potential. There's a lot of innate powers that I was kind of overlooking. Towards the middle of the game, I started realizing he could do a lot more if I focused on his elements and playing cards with those elements in, so I could like get those innate powers to work. So I was a little bit slow in the uptake. We did eventually win that game. That was a really long game. I think it went for 4 hours. We started at like 3, but we didn't finish until 9. But we did have children that were about the house that we kind of had to check in on, and we also stopped and ate dinner. So I'm not really sure exactly how long the game went, but it was really long. But we did win. And then later the next day before they left, we got to play Miyabi. And Miyabi is another Tetris style game where you're laying puzzle pieces in a Zen garden, and the more you build up your Zen garden puzzle pieces, you layer them so that there's no cardboard, there's no holes showing, and you get to multiply your points every time you lay a puzzle piece. Miyabi is another Tetris style game that I love. Towards the end of the month, I actually had a One Pip Wonder event at Joe's store. He asked me to come in, and people could come in and meet me if they wanted, and I would play Hues and Cues with people. So that's what we did, and guess who showed up? Dave and Britany came, and it was really sweet of them to come out again, and it was a lot of fun. I got to teach them Hues and Cues, which was new to them, and I had brought other games because I didn't really know if anyone was going to show up. So I brought lots of games that I would want to play with Joe and anyone else who came that day. So we did get to play Project L, and so that's that Tetris-y game that I really like. And then we also played Wingspan. It's just a tremendous game. It's all about birds. So I'm really growing to love Wingspan, and I was really happy I got to play it again with Dave and Britany. And then, lo and behold, Dave and Britany decided to play Spirit Island with Daniel and I. And I am forever grateful. It was totally new to them. It's a kind of a heavy game to learn, and it was so much fun. I played Shifting Memory of Ages, and this character I remember much better because there's actually, during the growth phase, you can just gain 9 energy. Just like that. Just magically you get 9 energy. Now I didn't actually take that growth action until I was further along in the game. But once I got to the point where I could benefit from taking that, it was so much fun. You don't get to play a whole lot of cards with this character, but you get to play very high power cards. You have opportunities to pick cards quite often, so you're getting more, it's like the luck is less against you when you have more opportunity to draw. And also when you pick major powers, you can spend money to keep your cards. Usually you have to forget one of your powers when you gain a major one. But not with this one. If you have the money to spend, you can keep those powers. You end up with a really nice hand of cards to play with. So I enjoyed this character a lot, and we again had victory in this game, so that was a lot of fun. My last gaming experience for October was super fun. I went on a little into the woods cabin getaway with my family, so I got to play games and teach games to my sister, brother-in-law, and my mom. And we played Project L twice, which I had already taught them, so I was really happy that they wanted to play that again, and we did play it quite a few times. And then we played Miyabi, which was new to them, and then we also played Sagrada, which is a stained glass themed game where you are filling in your little player card with these translucent dice, and you're supposed to be completing a pattern. It's themed after the Sagrada Cathedral, and so it's a beautiful theme, but it's very puzzly, very thinky. We played it pretty late at night, so we got a little hysterical and silly with all of the things you had to think about. I love Sagrada, but it is like, I think my brother-in-law explained it pretty well. He said it reminds him of Sudoku, where you just have so many different things to think about when you're placing your dice that it does feel extremely puzzly and even a little mathy, even though it's not directly related to math. You just have a lot to think about when completing your Sagrada player board. So anyway, but my mom and my sister wanted to play it again, so I had a chance to play it twice. So it was just really fun. It was a weekend in the woods. There was no internet, there was no TV, so we just played games the whole weekend, and that was just awesome. So that was how I wrapped up the month of October, and that's the end of my board gaming diary for October 2020. What did you get to play this week? Were you playing with new gamers, new games, old games? Please share and let me know. I think it's just really fun to cherish our gaming memories because they are more precious now. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.